Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to our West Ham. You have to say it like that. West Ham, blowing bubbles and apples and pears, etc. Welcome to London. It's a tricky one, this. We'll go through it, have a look at the team. They want to play attacking football. They don't want to sign older players. They want younger players and high reputation players. Come on, West Ham. You're West Ham. Which is going to be tricky. Anytime you're struggling, you know, you're not in Champions League and stuff, it's quite hard to sign high reputation players. Like I always say with these club culture things, is if you're performing above expectations, don't worry about it. You can play however you like. But if you're struggling a little bit, it's saying mid-table. If you're like maybe a little bit below mid-table, and the fact you haven't signed any high reputation players could be an issue going forward. But they expect mid-table this season and the 5th round of the FA Cup. Then they want top half. Then they want best of the rest. So they want steady progression, which not all clubs do. So we can't take that for granted. But let's have a look at the team then. How much money have we got? £16 million. Decent amount of 250 grand a week in wages. That's not too bad. We could even maybe put a bit of that into the transfer budget. We've got some very good players and we've got some weak links. So let's take a few of the goalkeepers. Fabianski. I really rate this guy. I love Fabianski. I think he's just got better and better with age. So we're good. He's 34 and his backups are 33 and 33. So something we need to look at in the next couple of years. But for the first season or two, perfectly good. We got Winston Reid. Do you remember when he was good? It was like here. I remember it being here that he was there, maybe, that he was good. Winston Reid, still decent. More of a sort of solid centre-back. Not the paciest. Not a ball-playing centre-back, but decent. We've got Balbuena, another decent all-rounder. Unspectacular. Diop, 22 years old. I think just about good enough that you could train. He's young enough that you could train him in his passing, his vision and stuff to make him a bit more of a ball-playing defender. But as we've seen so far, not the most tactically gifted backline. We got Zabaleta, who's experienced. I think fullbacks with no pace are pointless. I was trying to think of a ply to. Sorry, Pablo, if you're watching. You really got to have pace to bombing up and down, unless you're going to play sort of defensive fullbacks, of course, and stuff. But I think you really struggle because they just find themselves out of position every time they bomb forward and there's a counter attack. They're still on the halfway line. So, like, you know, it's not ideal, but good experience. Good, obviously, very good tutor and all that stuff for maybe a season. We got Ryan Fredericks, who's pacey and decent going forward, so not too bad on the right side. We've got Declan Rice, who's going to be the one that we need to keep hold of at all costs, or if you're up for it, you could sell him for probably absurd amounts of money. Plays him as a deep line playmaker. You can play him as a sort of ball-playing centre-back. He's very sort of versatile anywhere in that middle, really. And we've got Carlos Sanchez, just like a worse, older version of that. Aaron Cresswell's the left-back, not too bad. Marky Noble, legend. Still just about good enough, I'd say, for a season or two. You can't sell him. I think it's in his contract. He has to be at West Ham until he dies of old age. And a couple of other good players. Attacking-wise, we've got some better options. We've got Lanzini, who's a very good number 10. We've got Felipe Anderson, who's a bit of a beast. Yeah, he's actually pretty damn good. Might have a hard time keeping hold of him. I think he's valued at 43 million. Jackie Wilshere, so you'll get to use him optimistically 10 games a season when he's not injured. Yarmolenko, back from injury, and I think he's brilliant. Before he had that horrible injury, didn't he? I thought he was one of the better players in the Premier League. He's still a beast in this game. 29 years old, so he's at his peak now, so you can get a couple of good few years out of him. And then we've got the new striker, Sebastian Haller, he's all right. He'll do. I don't think you need to replace him straight away, but I think long term, I don't think he's going to be there. Not much in the way of youth. There might be a couple of decent ones here, but there's nothing obviously that stands out. Yeah. Facilities are decent. We've got great training. We've got great youth, good youth recruitment, adequate coaching. The dynamics are bang average. I always like to look at the team leaders. It's important to have 1 or 2 team leaders that aren't going to leave. So Zabaleta, maybe let go this season. Maybe the next season. Marky Noble is going to be 1 or 2 more seasons. So we definitely need to look for some leaders going forward. What have we got to spend? 16 million quid. Let's have a look at the age groups. What are you doing, Loki? Digging a hole? Right. As you can see from the ages, we do have quite a large chunk of older players. I'd be looking to spend our money. I think goalkeepers fine for the first season or 2. I think centre-backs might be... Yeah, I think I'm looking to get a centre-back. We've not even got that much depth. Unless you're going to play Declan Rice as a centre-back. But I'd be more tempted to buy a centre-back in and play him further up the field, because I think he'd be a little bit wasted as just playing him as a centre-back. I do like the DM, deep line playmaker role. Does all the defensive work as well, but can ping a pass, which he definitely can. He's not the best in the world, but I think he's pretty damn good. It's going to be a hard time keeping hold of him. I think the biggest problem we're going to have is signing high-profile players. I'm not sure how you do that with £16 million. I don't know if the board know that they usually cost a little bit more. But like I said, as long as you're performing to what they expect, you don't have to worry too much about that. We're good going forward, so I'd not have to worry about too much. I think we've only got 1 decent striker. Jetty's a fine backup, I suppose. So if you're playing 2 up top, definitely need to look for strikers. We've got decent wingers. We can't rely on the likes of Wilshere, so we'll just pretend he doesn't exist, and he's like a bonus when he does. Antonio's a decent winger, who's pacey. So it's not too bad, but a rebuild is definitely on the cards. I just want to look. We've got leaders in every department. So they're looking more depth up front, right back issues. Yeah, because Zabaleta. Fredericks is not too bad. Defensively, maybe a little bit weak, but bombing on, absolutely rapid. So he will get back into it. He's like the opposite of Pablo Zabaleta. But there we go. If you are a West Ham fan or you're doing a save with West Ham, go load it up. Go play a couple of seasons and let us know your genius tactics, tips, players that you've sold, that you've kept. I'd like to know what high-profile signings you've made with your £16 million. I think that's more likely to be going forward. You'll be doing that. But I think as a club division goes, the mid-table first season, I would say that's a pretty decent challenge. I think it's a lot tougher than some of the challenges we've got with the teams, but I think it's definitely doable. I think Haller will score enough in this first season. I think he'll be decent value. How much are they buying for? 34. You'll probably be able to get that back in a year or 2 when I think he could definitely be upgraded, but it's not an emergency. I think it's more about sorting out this situation at the back. Right, so there we go. There's our West Ham chat. Get involved, people, in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like and all that good stuff. I'll see you for the journeyman. Bye-bye.